everybody. We are back with the real shit messages. Well, we're going to be back full force here pretty soon. I know I keep saying that, but I had so much to take care of. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has shown their support and continues to support and continues to allow me to connect with your energy. If you're new here, you might want to stick around and see how this does for you, but this is not your, we're not pandering in any way in these messages, okay? This is not your love, your twin flame, your all of that. This is the real shit, and these messages are not for everyone, okay? These messages go deep, and they get a little abstract, and they don't resonate with people who are not there yet, and that's okay. Everyone is on a different path at a different time in their own unique journey, and I have other videos on my channel that you may resonate with, and then there are a ton of other different types of people out here that you may resonate with, but this particular goes a little deep, a little far. So let's get into it. First, we're going to get into the channel messages, y'all. I've got a lot of information. I'm going to try to keep this one I'm gonna try to keep it where we can process it, okay? So you may feel as they have started a new way of scrambling, and when I say they, y'all know I'm talking about the powers that be, the higher ups, the ones that think they're higher up anyway. They have started a new form of scramble, a new wave. They're telling me wave, a new frequency, a new technique, okay? There's a merging also that's happening within other frequencies and scrambles, okay? So they're also showing me, this is very, very tactical. They're telling me tactical and strategic as well. So you may be experiencing or looking at other people experience. We are going to get into the cards, y'all, but we're going to do a channel first, because that's what I feel is right and necessary in this moment. So you may be experiencing other weird energies, entities, and interruptions, as they may seem, trying to make a wedge in between you and situations, or you and relationships, you and people, you and connections, okay? You may experience some very stressful and overwhelming situations where something may be pulling you or telling you to separate yourself from something that doesn't feel right, meaning the situation or the person has always felt right, but now all of a sudden it doesn't. Just very suddenly it doesn't feel right, and you're not understanding why you have this sudden pull to go away. You may feel very agitated for seemingly no reason, okay? You need to be paying attention to your body. Pay attention to your ears if they heat up. If they ring, pay attention to your face if it's getting flustered. Pay attention if your feet start sweating suddenly, okay? Pay attention if you all of a sudden get nauseous, okay? Pay attention if you all of a sudden get really shaky, all right? If you all of a sudden have extreme forms of anxiety and panic attacks that you either haven't had in forever or you've never had, okay? Pay attention to these very physical signals that you may be experiencing, okay? Also, pay attention to your connections, your closest spiritual tribes, your sisters, your brothers, your mothers, your fathers. Pay attention to your spouses, your partners, okay? Pay attention to who you know them to be in their deepest space of their heart, okay? Because what is happening is you're going to start noticing, if you haven't already, people being triggered on a level that's just undeniable, okay? And now everyone's triggers are going to be different. It'll be the thing that triggers you or them the most. So for some of you, like, let me put it like this. How do you get a person who doesn't even believe in the death penalty to kill someone in cold blood? How would that even be possible? How would you get someone who is a humanitarian to start stealing the food out of people's mouths? How would you get someone who doesn't have a prejudiced or a racist bone in their body to start hating everyone on their appearance, everyone who doesn't look like them. How is that even possible? Well, let me tell you, these people would have to be very, very bombarded with very specific frequencies and vibrations, and they would have to be completely misinformed, right? So if we go back to the first example, how would you get somebody who doesn't even believe in the death penalty to murder someone in cold blood? How would that even be possible? That person would have to, number one, they would have to believe that they were acting in self-defense or righteously. They would have to be scared to the point where they didn't feel like they had a choice. And they would have to believe, because if it was actually in cold blood, they would have to be acting under false information. They would have to be outright being lied to, okay? And this is going to be the same over all of the scenarios that I just named. You've got people out here that have had strong connections in marriages, okay, for however long, and all of a sudden someone is either being ripped out of the marriage, or they're being there's extreme forms of miscommunication, breakdown in communication, and I'm talking about suddenly. I'm not talking about people that have repeat patterns of bad behavior and misunderstandings and, you know, horrible communication and selfish people. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We all have people close to us or people that we observe that have relationships like that. I am not talking about these people. I'm talking about very sudden things that seem very, very out of place. That's because they are out of place. Pay attention to your connections. Pay attention to how people are continuously being triggered, okay? Because you're going to see the patterns. Now, it's going to be different for everyone, but you will see patterns of spikes of energy and corruption and agitation and breakings. They're showing me like a stick snapping in half. So these unions and these strong connections, whether it is your own path and journey or whether it is your actual connections with other people, they're just being broken in half and tossed to the side, like so far apart that they never meet again. They could never even find each other. They're showing me something split in four and buried in the four corners of the earth, away from one another, okay? This is being done on purpose. There's a level of confusion right now that is being interjected on purpose. Injected? I don't know that word. Anyway, it's being done on purpose, because if you're not sure and if you don't know how to discern and if you're very confused on what's happening, they have a better chance at fooling you, okay? What do we do about this? The only thing that I have come across so far is that we remain very grounded, or as grounded as we can be, and that we remain very objective, and we remain very aware of ourselves. We're not going to be able to control everyone else's reactions, and we're definitely not going to be able to control to some degree we can, but more than likely there's only a limited amount that we can control of what we receive in, of what's being thrown at us, okay? Because it's everywhere you look. It's going to be on billboards, it's on the TV, it's on the internet, it's on the radio, it's what your children are learning at school, it's what is being talked about at, you know, the water cooler at work, it's what's being, you know, you see, go to the grocery store and people have now slogans they just blasted on their shirts, and it's this, you're very limited as to what you are in control of seeing and taking in. So the only thing I have found that we're going to be able to do is on an individual level. That's me with me, you with you, okay? And that is remaining so aware and objective of every situation that we're able to develop a very solid baseline and keep resetting back to that, okay? So when you find yourself extremely triggered or about to walk away from a situation or a person that you love, and you know, and you start seeing these little things about these people that it's like, I know that's not how that person really feels. I hear what they said, I see, but I know like there's something pushing them. There's something just poking them to do that, okay? When something, the only thing that makes sense is that something doesn't make sense, start to break it apart. Okay, start to, you know these people, you know them. There's a reason you've had them in your life for so long. There's a reason why your heart goes out to them. There's a reason why y'all have this connection. And I'm talking about the real ones. I'm talking about, if you know, you know, okay? So start breaking that apart. Start looking at what is triggering them and what is triggering you, okay? When you know a person's heart, when you know their intention, when you know who they truly are, you may not know everything about a person. Of course, people change. But you will have to develop a very, very strong, stable, and sturdy baseline to judge situations on and by and revert back to, especially when it comes to yourself. So when you start to get triggered and you start to say things that you've never said, feel ways that you've never felt, do things that you would never do, you need to, especially when you start losing your compassion, when you start losing your patience, you need to sit back and you need to say, what's causing that? Okay, I've never done that before. I've never felt that way before. That wasn't my thought, or wasn't my thought. I can't even tell. Those levels of confusion are be done on purpose. And that's why it's so important that you sit down and break it and take it apart and look at what just happened to trigger me. What just happened that made me say that, or made me want to say that, or made me want to feel that, or made me want to do that. Especially if you start feeling bad about it afterwards. Or if it's not, for whatever reason, there'll be something that's so unfamiliar about it. You'll need to take a moment and look at what just happened, what just got said, what did you just witness, who was just in your vicinity, okay? And then how many times did that happen within the last 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 months? The only way that I know we're going to be able to fight this is on the individual awareness level, okay? So that we keep ourselves accountable and we keep ourselves reverting back to, okay, here's where I know I've always stood and where I always will stand on my morals, my values, my views, my beliefs, my whatever it is, okay? Here's what I know is right or has always felt right to me. Why would I just say that or be that or do that? Go back and look at what happens. You can see how they're triggering you so that you can remain aware, you can stay present, and you can stay strong. If we can all do this to some degree, I think we'll be okay. I really do. Now, as far as information goes, the information and messages that is coming through, there's sort of this connect the dot puzzle piece energy that has been coming through for several years now, very strong. So it's very important that you understand, for whatever reason, I've not figured it out yet, for whatever reason, this is information that cannot be given to just one. So you will have groups of 3 or more that will be putting information and pieces together and connecting the dots, okay? So listen to your tribe, even if you know people that you're really close with, be it family, friends, spouse, partner, that are not necessarily the most spiritual or religious or what have you, and listen to them talk, listen to what they've been viewing, listen to what they've been dreaming, listen to the thoughts they've been having. You will find information and missing pieces within those messages that complete a broader picture for you. That's also a very important message for you to take away from today. One more that I have before we start flipping cards is don't be scared to go sit down. Don't be scared to take a seat. Take several seats if you need to, because the level of confusion and frequencies that are being emitted is real, and it is on purpose, baby. It is on purpose, okay? If you start to get overwhelmed because you cannot figure out what is what, or what you're supposed to do, or if you're supposed to be there or here, or if that's the truth, or if that's the truth, or if this person is really this type of person or that type of person, if it starts to create a space where you feel insane and defeated, that's what it's supposed to do. It's okay. Go sit down. Back away from it. It's okay to back away from it or walk away from it until you can reassess yourself and come back to it. Just like when you can't find your keys and you're running around like a crazy person, gonna be late, getting more agitated by the second, overlooking more shit by the second, and you can't find them and they are hanging right where you left them, right by the door, you know, or you can't find your glasses and you're getting all irate and you're looking everywhere and they're on your head, okay? Or you pass over something a million times with your hands and you can't, but it was right there. Sometimes when you're too close to a situation, you can't see it for what it is and you can't figure it out, and the more you dwell and the more you try to figure it out, especially with this level of confusion that's purposefully being injected into everyone's very being, you just get more and more and more lost in it. So it's okay if you need to say, I don't know. I don't know if what I saw was real. I don't know if what I felt was real. I don't know if that person's telling me the truth. I don't know if this is my path right now. I don't know. You know, it's okay. If it saves your sanity and, yeah, the period, just go. It's okay. It's okay to go sit down, all right? We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Not everyone, obviously. Man. Pay attention. Pay attention not only to the way that you feel, but they're telling me when you lay in bed at night and all the lights are off and everything is supposed to be dark and there's supposed to be no sound. Pay attention to the sounds that you hear that shouldn't be there. Pay attention to the way that the wind sounds that's not really wind. Pay attention to the way the trees sound that's not really leaves. Pay attention to the way the birds squawk that is obviously a recording. That's how it's wanting to come through. Pay attention. Revision. I'm telling you, this is more pointing to them than to us. They've revised an entire system. It's calculated and it is precise. It is tactical and it is in waves. I'm seeing somebody that's like this line. It's like this whole kind of, I'm not saying this is NASA, but it's like the only thing I can kind of describe is like weather centers or, okay, yeah, because they're saying when you start getting triggered and you start feeling, you start breaking it down, you'll be able to break it down to even the direction of the wind and the way the weather was. You'll be able to break it down like that, even to that very point, whoever that's resonating with. But what I'm seeing is like, it's like a weather center or a NASA center. It's like a bunch of people in a big room with computers that are all somehow connected. It's like a connected network, but each person is doing their own thing or controlling a specific part of something, because it's going to take that many on this large of a scale. And there's someone up that's calling the shots. Now, they're not the main shot caller, but they are the one that is giving the signals, and it's a very calculated, like that. I'm seeing them now. I'm seeing them like, do it now, scramble it. That's what they're saying. Scramble now, you now, scramble, go. And it's like this, it's very calculated and spurts, splurges, surges. They've revised the system. This is going to stretch out for a while. They've extended their stretch and their reach as well. Now they are very much so more than before, getting to people that they were not able to get to people. They were not able to get to some people before. Some forms of consciousness, some beings were unable to be affected by the system that they had before. They now have a further reach. They have stretched beyond. Look at this. Let me see if I can. It kind of made it blurry. Let's see if we can just. All of these sort of branches, but this is, I don't know why it won't focus. I apologize for that, but there's just their tentacles, their reach, their branches have become so much more than they were before. They're able to reach even the ones they couldn't reach before. Now, there's still some that are not as affected as others, but almost everyone is being affected. What did I say about pay attention? Pay attention to your ears heating up. Pay attention to your face heating up. Pay attention to your feet sweating. Also, I believe this is going to amp up come the summer, when the weather starts to heat up. There's something about the heat of the weather as well. Okay, that's why they're saying listen to nature. So before, it was much harder for them to touch you outside in nature. It was much easier for them to get to you through your cell phones, your TVs, the frequencies, the towers, the satellites, and stuff like that. So you were more susceptible in businesses and your home and things like that, in buildings with a lot of technology. And so we would go to nature to decompress and reground and rejuvenate. Now, even that's been compromised. That's what they're telling me. That's why it's heating up. That's what's going on with the summer. That's what's going on with outside. That's why they're saying listen to nature. There you go. So now they have found a way to even compromise that. Now, it's not as solid of a system as the ones that they have bombarding us with actual technology, but it's still, I'm hearing breaking technology that they have. I feel like it's finally, like this has been something in the works for a long time. It's like they finally got it to do what they needed it to do. It was an accident. They came across it as an accident. So I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to, I don't know that they're going to be able to replicate this, number one, and I don't know that they're going to be able to expand on it, number two, because it was like just throwing shit in the pot until something worked. Well, they got it. They got something to work. Okay. The High Priest in the reverse position. We're not going to take it. The Six of Swords in reverse position, Ten of Cups in the reverse, Five of Cups, Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Eight of Rods. I'm sorry, in the upright. They're intentionally making people feel isolated and angry. They're intentionally making people walk away from their spirituality. They're intentionally giving you an uneasy feeling of confusion. If you can. Now, isolation is great, for those that need to rejuvenate and find themselves and be comfortable in spending time with themselves, become comfortable in their own company and things like that. That's great. Be careful, though. Be very careful that it doesn't become too much. They're trying to get you alone on purpose. I promise you that. I promise you that. They're making you feel. That's why a lot of you have the sudden urge and feeling to walk away from everything and everyone, especially the ones closest to you. This is no different than people, abusive people. Abusive people and abusive relationships will often isolate you from all of your friends and family so that they can better control you. And that is what is happening. Be very, very careful with these intrusive thoughts. If there's anything you need to do right now, it's hold on to your connections, hold on to your support systems, your support teams, and make them even stronger. Whether that is your spiritual team, your spiritual tribe, your spiritual sisters and brothers, your literal family and friends, whatever, hold on to what you got. They are purposely creating a wedge and making you feel isolated, making you feel like you have to walk away from the ones that that's what I'm telling you. Pay attention to your connections. You know these people. You know these people. You know their hearts. You know where they stand on a very organic soul level. Remember that. Because they're going to be pushed to exhibit traits and tendencies that is not actually how they are. Maybe it's a facet of them. Maybe it's a weakness or a small portion of them that they know is incorrect or weak, and they are trying to fix it, heal it, come away from it. But just be very, very careful. Just be very, very careful. The King of Rods with this revision. They're acting fast. The messages, they are acting so fast. I'm telling you, whatever they stumbled upon, or, I mean, they didn't stumble on it. They were searching for it, but they were like just throwing everything in the pot, seeing what they could come up with. They don't have an actual formula for it, okay? They don't have a formula for it, but they found it. It works. It works really, really well. And I mean, they saw it and they put it out there like, go now, okay? The moon in the reverse position. I want to wait a second before I speak on that. We're bringing a lot to the light. Look, we got heat, the moon in the reverse, which is bringing it to the light, the king of rods going towards the sun. Yeah, they may have an advantage, but so do we. Remember when I said the messages will be coming 3 and stronger, groups of 3 and stronger. You will need your tribe, you will need your family, you will need your sisters, your brothers, your mothers, your fathers, your cousins. You're going to need other people, other beings, other consciousness to work together in order to find out the messages, in order to go forward and do work, whatever your work is. I'm not going to specify. They have power in numbers, and so do we. The 7 of Cups. Yeah, they're working on a third eye level. They're working on a very like brain scramble type of level. Which is why it's so hard to discern, because is this my thought? Is this your thought? Is this an intrusive thought? Am I just having a bad day? Is that how that person really thinks? I've known you for 12 years. I've known you for 20 years. Is that how you thought this whole time? I mean, it's down to that. Here's the thing. Now, they have compromised what we used to use, what used to be a sure shot, and that's nature. Now that's been compromised, but in order to do that, they had to compromise themselves. And that's why so much has come into the light. Because in order to do that, certain things had to happen that everyone would see is just not right. It's something very, very fishy about these weather patterns and situations, and just there's a lot of things that I can't say on here because I don't want this video banned or taken down, but there's a lot of things that are coming to light that people cannot unsee. So yes, they've compromised our sanctuaries, we'll say. But in order to do that, they had to compromise pieces of themselves, which in turn gives us an advantage. 7 of Rods in the reverse position. Yeah, we're fighting back. They've got a fight ahead of them, and they know it. They've got an advantage, but so do we. Because in order to, I'm telling you, there's something with that L. There's something they keep showing with the L. Like they're saying this ain't no chess, this ain't no checkers game, this ain't no game of checkers. There's something about the knight on the game, on the board of the game of chess. There's something about the knight being the underestimated piece on the board, as they're telling me. Ten of Pentacles in the reverse position. They're tearing up your home on purpose. They're offering you things that, see, if it seems too good to be true, baby, it probably is. They're taking things away and breaking down the home so that they can come in and rescue you. This is on purpose. Whew. The Hermit. They're trying to make you feel isolated. Be careful with that. Yeah, with the Death. The 2 of Cups in reverse position. I'm telling you, they're coming in to break people apart, to break you away from your path, to break you away from your truth, your situation, your religion, your belief, your spouse, your partner, your friends, your family. They're coming through to literally, they're killing your spirit. They're killing your spirit. And then they're going to come in like this knight in shining armor to save it. But really, they're the reason that everything is broken down. You're going to have to cut that cold. Like I said, what do we do about it? The only thing I have been able to come up with that even seems kind of like it's going to work is the individual with the individual, and that's staying as aware as possible and establishing that very, very secure baseline and then reverting back to it. Keep checking yourself. Keep putting your ass in check. I don't care if it's twice a day, twice a week, 5 times a day. Keep checking yourself. That's the only way we're going to get through it without them, because they're like I said, remember what I said, how do you get a person? How do you get a person that doesn't believe in the death penalty to commit murder in cold blood? That's like the most extreme example I can think of right now. And this is how you do it. You reprogram them completely. You give them false information and you bombard them with, I'm hearing aggravated, oh, I can't say that word because it'll throw up a flag. The devil. I'm telling you. They are coming in to break you apart, to play savior. They're using your responsibility. Look, 7 of Wands over the 7 of Rods, which is the same thing. Death over death. Mother of Cups. Okay, stay aware, stay understanding, stay compassionate. Keep checking yourself. Keep throwing your ass back in check. Don't worry about checking everybody else. You can't do that right now. And if you feel overwhelmed with a situation, or if you feel a person, like if they've gotten a hold of a person and you just feel like there's nothing you can do, especially if it's going to risk your own sanity or your own sort of livelihood or peace, then back away from it. Back away from it. But be very, very careful to, I keep seeing these knee-jerk reactions. So be very, very careful to be quick to just write people off or write yourself off or go into a space of isolation for too long, okay? To kill relationships and connections that you love. Be very, very careful, because this is very much being done on purpose. The more isolated they can make you, the more programming they can get you to agree to, the more control that they're going to have over you, okay? I love you so much. Thank you all for being here with me. Thank you for support once again. Thank you for allowing me to connect with your energy. I hope you enjoyed this message, at the very least got something out of it, and I will see you next time.